screens in front of them. So you not only have your computer that's up and in front of you, but then you have the TV behind it. Or you have the computer plus your phone or the iPad or whatever. So people actually have 2 freaking screens going while they're eating food.
Yeah.
So
that's maybe 500 calories. Maybe it's 250 per screen. I don't know.
You never know, right? So, but the point is that it's mindful awareness, you know, and you were saying, you know, the detoxification during, you know, a yoga class. I hear that all the time. I do Bikram, and how come, you know, I used to sweat and I lost a bunch of weight real quick and it was so easy. And now I can't seem to shed anything. And it's like, okay, so what are you putting in your body? And they go, well, it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't matter as much because I'm detoxing. Yeah, right? Well, the fact is that, you know, just to maintain where you are, you actually have to go do something.
Right.
Right? So every day, you know, you go to that yoga class or whatever it is that you're doing and you're sweating it out and you're working, you're on the elliptical or, you know, whatever it is that you do, you're outside. And, you know, you're sweating it out. Well, you're only detoxing the most recent stuff that you shoved in your face, right? What about all that other crap that's been there? What about all the stuff that's stored in your adipose fat that, you know, you store all those excess toxins and everything else? You can't even detox those things unless you start to actually cleanse from the inside out. And that goes with changing what you actually put in your face. Yeah.
Yeah. And I completely agree with what Joe said because people will go into... Well,
good. I'm glad you agree.
No, I disagree. I should disagree with you more because that would make us more controversial and fun. I could throw this eyeball at you. This dye ball.
Dye ball.
I can see you. Anyway, what Joe said is accurate though because that's one thing I've heard all my life. And in fact, it's something I did believe sort of until about 4 years ago when I really started getting heavy nutrition. Oh, Di, you can eat what you want. Look at you. Oh, Di, you could eat what you want. You know you're going to work it out. You work it off tomorrow. Okay, maybe when we were young, we could work it off. Okay, calorically, we could work it off. But what about nutritionally? It's not just about calories in and calories out. It's about the quality and the density of these foods, stuffs, pseudo foods that we're putting into our bodies. So like Joe said, you could be eating, even within your calorie range, and be eating junk food, toxic food that are not real. And we'll get into that on future video casts, I'm sure of it, because it's something that's a really hot topic right now. It's a lot of things are pseudo foods, and the ingredients in these foods are actually something that our body doesn't even know what to do with. So in lieu of using it even for energy, it will store it in fat. And our body makes fat cells to store these toxins in from the foods that we're eating that are pseudo foods. So you could even still be within your calorie range and your body perceives that as stress, alert, alarm, and it gets a lot of it. Our liver is just so completely overburdened at this point that's where you also plateau, is that we're that toxic that if we're not doing a regular detoxification every 6 months, that poor liver is being asked to do too much. And guess what organs? We can't replace those.
Right.
So that was something else too last night, is that the sleep cycles. It's another thing. You know, we're getting into stress. We gotta bring it back to the doctors and stuff. We were talking about doctors and unhealthy professionals. That's how we could loop it back, though, guys. That's how we can loop it back.
I was just in my head. I was like, "How are we going to loop this back to our original conversation?"
How are we going to loop it back?
We just went on this like, "Hey, guess what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about all this crazy shit." So it's just going to keep going and going. And here's all these ideas and here's all these topics. And God, we can't even stay on point on our first video.
So
Holy crap! This is
here's how we can loop it back in.
Like, damn.
Loop, swoop, and pull. Okay, Big Daddy. So here's how we can loop that back in.
Okay.
Stress is everywhere. Stress is everywhere. Doctors are under so much pressure. In fact, I had many doctors when I was a financial planner as my clients, and they were talking about how much more of a burden that they were being asked. They were being asked to double the amount of patients they were seeing in a month, but they were getting paid less. And I started to see that back then, not knowing what health impact that would have on us, but thinking, gosh, that's not very... That's a pretty stressful world for these poor doctors. Right. And mind you, these doctors, 2 out of 3 of them that I was working with in my planning practice were overweight back then. And that was like 10 years ago. And so they're just as stressed out as we are.
Agreed.
They're not getting enough sleep. They're working 10 hours a day. If you're not getting enough sleep, you know, for instance, 7 to 9 is how many hours typically we should have a night. In fact, you might need even less if you're less stressed out and you're eating healthy. That's happened to me several times. And I know to you too. And so these doctors, these healthcare practitioners, maybe these personal trainers, they have long hours. All of us are working long hours. No one is spared with this whole work more to make more money. Yeah. And why make more money? To what? Fuel these things that we don't really even need? What about just basic needs? So these doctors are working long hours.
Another topic.
Yeah, we could just do chapter 1, 2, 3. And if they're getting less than 7 to 9, that's another perception of stress, and our body will store more fat. And in fact, people who sleep less than their requirements will eat, on average 500 calories or more per day.
In excess, over the top of what they're already eating.
In excess on top. Yeah. So
yes, sleep is hugely underrated, and it's not talked about enough. And it's such a simple concept, right? That you plan everything else in your life. Like, why don't you plan to sit down and eat right? Why don't you plan to go to bed? Why don't you? Just this overwork mentality, and you do see it with doctors a lot, and you're seeing it more and more. And we can get into deeper discussions regarding that. I see so much of it now that we're about to have a baby, and it's like, oh my gosh, to hear that what really goes on and how just unbelievably just horrid it is. It's scary. But anyhow, so to kind of wrap it up, because we're coming up on the end of the time here. NamaSTAY Well, the whole goal is to hopefully bring you guys some great information, healthy topics that hopefully you can take from this video and you can go apply them immediately into your day and get some benefit out of it. So that's kind of the gist of what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it in a kind of a chatty way, obviously.
Chatty.
Anybody who has topic ideas, feel free to email either of us.
Not just feel free. We're going to encourage you guys to email us your questions, some things that we can go over, because obviously we're basing these videos on real life circumstances and real life things that we're enduring, and the things that it's not judging as much as it is just thinking, gosh, how can we be successful, like with this topic? How can we be successful as a nation with health when the people who are leading the advice around health are not themselves?
Right.
And so it's just getting you to think outside your box. Joe and I are real big about just thinking outside of your own box and trying new things, being your best doctor, being a guinea pig with yourself, because things won't change unless you step outside of them, right? Because most people, they continue to complain about things, but nothing changes because they haven't tried different things.
Yeah.
So don't be scared to try new things. NamaSTAY Well is going to be all about exploration and documentation of what things are working for you.
Yeah.
And today, we bulleted some of the highlights on why these things might be happening with, overweight and obesity. And so those things might apply to you where you can help yourself on those too. So we're going to get deeper into each one of the topics that we went over today. But today is just, I guess, really
to let you know we're here.
Let you know what's on our mind. And let you know that you too can transform.
God, you new shirt.
Right?
Right. Whatever.
You can transform.
We should get NamaSTAY Well shirts.
We're going to.
All right.
And then if you guys end up loving us, which you will, then you're gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
No, you will.
And then we'll offer you NamaSTAY Well. Yeah, and we'll do giveaways and give away some shirts and give away some swag.
And maybe some socks.
Some socks?
Like this. Like my Superwoman socks.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do a NamaSTAY Well swag. Some swag.
That sounds cool.
I like that word. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Let's do we'll have to do another video shortly. So the next ones you'll see, obviously we just happen to be near the same city the first time. The next ones will actually be like split screen. She'll be in Southern California. I'll be here in Northern California.
We'll plan our outfits though.
We're gonna have to organize outfits.
Yeah.
What color are you wearing?
Today it's orange. Next day it's gonna be today's red. Next time it's gonna be orange. Then the next time after that it's gonna be yellow, and then it's gonna be green, and then blue, and then purple, and we're gonna have a rainbow like chakras.
Like the chakra system.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we started with a root chakra.
Yeah, we started with a root. Yeah,
That's actually genius.
See, we don't even realize it. We're such yoga practitioners that we're just starting from the ground up.
Genius.
The energy's got to start here. You got to have the foundation first, which is in that, interpreting it to this cast is that the foundation is meeting us and and hearing what our goals are with helping you and
realize that we're not on here to sell you a bunch of crap. We're not here to sell you a bunch of stuff. Here and there on the site, you may see, a couple ads for some cool stuff that we actually believe in or maybe that we use. Because guaranteed, I get it every day in my own life and through my own websites and so forth, people ask me, what do you take? What do you do?
Right.
What do you eat?
recommend?
What do you recommend? And so anything that we kind of feel passionate about, we'll probably put it up so you guys can actually see it and access it.
Right.
So that you have a channel for it. However, we're not going to be sitting here pitching you and going, oh, guess what today's product is? It's, this.
Right.
This is free information. And that's our goal is to provide you with massive amounts of truth, which is, obviously we're both yogis. So that's huge, is that you're really getting to see truth in the world, and we can lift that veil, like I mentioned before, and help you honestly find the optimal health that you deserve. We all deserve to be healthy. We all deserve to have everything that we could possibly need in this world. And so I think that our goal is just simply to offer the information so that you can go get it. And that's it.
And we do plan to interview some people in the future as well.
Oh yeah, interviews. Yes, we'll have tons of great interviews.
Yeah, we want to. There's a good line. We've got a good list, and a lot of people who have already agreed to be on our show. So we're super stoked to bring those people to you, and they're inspiring individuals, like real life stories about 50-year-olds who are still fit, or health professionals who this is working for them, and real life studies of things that have actually worked. And it's not just someone's opinion on something. It's a true testimonial that you can employ into your lives.
Yeah, like truth in the practice. I mean, seeing that it actually yields a result. Because if we're going to all invest into doing something for ourselves, we need to make sure that it's going to yield us a result. So I think, it'll be cool to see some good stories. So, that's our first little episode.
Cool.
So welcome to NamaSTay Well, and
welcome.
Yeah, so we'll get this up, and you guys can comment and send us emails and anything else. So.
Yeah, and as you can see, Joe and I take pretty good care of ourselves. So we're never going to be a hypocrite for you guys. We're always going to be true to our word. True to our size, true to our word.
All right, cool.
All right, namaste well,
namaste.
everybody. 26, 20.